Okay, so what is MVVM actually? So it stands for, model view and view model. Okay, so guys, please quiet. Okay, so MVVM stands for model view and view model. So we are go for it. It's a kind of somebody think that it's a kind of architecture. Somebody think it's just a design problem. Okay, but mainly for front end. So Angular, Angular JS, use MVVM. We can do MVVM in Android, iOS, whatever you want. We have a data binding and RS Java. Okay, so it's invented by Microsoft, and they use in Windows Presentation Foundation. It's a Windows form programming in the past. Okay, so Microsoft do invented that. So here is the overall. So view model and model. What is that? So the model will contain data, the truth, or data can retrieve everywhere. We can retrieve it from a local storage, we can retrieve it from database, or we can retrieve it on the cloud. Okay. So the view models, what is that? So it will ask data from the model, from networking, from cloud, from local storage, from database. Okay, and then it's gonna return the data back to view model. Okay, some kind of. Okay, I will talk more in later slide about it. So view, they can do data binding to view model. Okay, for example, so the view model we have a string, an arrow string, right? So when in the view model you have logic to validate data, and you change the data, the arrows information, and the view will be notified automatically and will be displayed on the view without doing some set arrow, set text, or anything. So every logic is placed in view model. So view model we have some type of string, arrow string. You just modify that string, and from your view they will have the data ready for you. You don't have to explicitly update the data from the view. Like you get the text view, and you set text, and you set arrow, and you get the adapter. You do notify item remove, notify item insert. You don't have to do that. You just update the list. For example, you have a list of product. Okay, you remove one item from the product, and the recycle view will update for you for free. So anything view can do, view model can do. But view model is a full functional stuff without the view. So you cannot see the view model, but you can do everything. For example, user can type in the email, right? So in view model, they will have a function to set or modify the emails, and the view can display an arrow. So in view model, they have a function view to modify the arrow strings. Okay. And the view will do nothing, no logic, no everything. It's completely stupid. Okay. And here the view, style, okay, HTML style and view style, something like that. View component, recycle view, a text view, an edit text, and linear layout, something like that. Animation, as you learn. Activity and fragment. So activity and fragment is considering as view. Okay. In MVVM. So binding logic. So binding logic here is mean you bind with RS Java or data binding. You already know about data binding, right? So you have a model on view model. You train the data, and the view will update for you for free. Okay, kind of. And the view will get notification and self-update. UI with view model change. It means that you don't have to write notify item set change, notify them blah blah blah, or set text, set arrow, kind of. Okay, you just update the view model and that's all. Okay, so view model is purely Java. It's purely Java. It don't have any Android related components. Okay, it's only Java. The view we do nothing. Sorry, we do nothing related to logic or retrieve data. Okay, my bad. And the view has no information about model. So the view should not directly ask for model from database or API. Okay, so view model is contain two stuff. The first is operational commands. So what is that? You click on a button, you want to register an account, right? And they gonna grab the model data for you and call through the API, ask the API server. So it's type of commands or operations. And the second step is view property or state. For example, you have an arrow string which can be modified. For example, from the view, maybe it say password is too short, or username is not already exists, or email is not valid. Some type. And in the view model, we will have some type of observable string. Observable string is a view properties, and when you update that view, the view will be notified. Okay. And view logic. View logic. What is that? For example, you get back a list of data, and you use a logic to count the number of the list, and you find out that the list is empty, and so you have to modify the arrow string or some title that this list is empty, and then on the view they will be notified and display that. You don't have to do that. You just update the view model, and that's all. Okay. Reference to model to retrieve data. Okay. So view model will refer to some type of APIs, client, retrieve it, or database, or data access object, something like that. And they will retrieve the data from model. They update the view mod, the properties, and that's all. So view will be notified. View model have no information about view. That's the good boy. So view model contain all the logic, and it's on Java. There is no Android in view model. Okay. Transform and prepare data for the view. View model has no information about the view. Okay, so model. So many people, confused about model. Maybe different people have different, definition about model. But for me, model is the place to retrieve data, to retrieve the truth from database, from server, from any kind of data source. So here they contain core business object of the application. What is that? You have a user object, you have a product object, you have a core object, you have an email object, something like that. So it's business object. Okay. You have an article, you have a product, so it's business object. So retrieve data from multiple data sources. So maybe the model maybe check that the internet connection is down, and they're gonna get a catch, or the database first. And when the networking is come back, and they will retrieve data from the API and update data from database and local. Okay. So there is a lot of way to implement models. So one way is repository pattern. So what is that? What is a repository? So a repository is a gate or interface that through that you ask for data, and that's all. You don't care about where is the data. It may come from the cloud, it may come from the API, it may come from the cache, okay? It may come from Firebase, right? So for example, I use Firebase to do my MVP, minimal visible prototype, so that I can go bitching to some stuff for my start, okay? And then later I found out that Firebase is not good enough, right? So I decided that I want to implement my own APIs, my own server, and my own backend stuff. So it's hard, right? You already have a lot of Firebase stuff in your application, and you decide that Firebase is not good enough. You want to change, and it's hard. Maybe you have to rewrite everything, right? But the UI, you can keep that. So you read the repository button. So it means that it's an interface, okay? So maybe you have a Firebase repository, implement that stuff, and do Firebase stuff. And later you can plug in other stuff, right? Maybe logic from retrofit or Realm, okay? So it's just an interface that cover everything, okay? So here has no information about view and view model. So again, model is stateless. You ask for data, it returns the data. That's all. It's stateless. View model is stateful. It has state. It can change state, and view will be updated. Okay. So view model has no information about view and view model. So overall, you can take a look here. This guy. Wait. Here. You can see that view depend on view model depend on model, and the notification is it's just a quick reference. There is no real reference. Okay, so in Android they have MVB, model view presenter. So here they quite similar, but the view model part back from the view this one. Exactly. Okay, so if it's the view presenter and model, so this line is like this line. Okay, underway. From view to view models, it's just one way. View model has no information about the view, but presenter do have information about the view. Okay, so the more dependency you add on your application, the harder to maintain, to test. Okay, and later you can make your application explode. It's a lot of code, a lot of dependencies, something like that. So try to cut down your dependencies, and your application is easier to maintain. Okay, something like that. Okay, back to our stuff. So what is advantage about MVVM actually? So extract all the core logic from the view. So for now, activity and fragment do all the logic, right? Check the database, they add the networking, they add the Firebase, they check if that user is logged in or not. They navigate you back to the login screen and blah blah blah. All the stuff is placed in activity and fragment, and if you see that from the project that more and more logic and features you add on the activity and fragment, it get explode, right? It's not good. It's not good at all. So here the view is in MVVM, the view is extremely thin. They don't have logic, they don't have anything, and you see that it's very beautiful. The view is quite stupid. They don't do anything and they just display data. Okay, so view model can be tested easily. View model is module, plan on Java object. It's just Java. And anything related only to Java, you can unit test that. What it cannot be unit test. So what is unit test? Who know? Who know what is unit test? So there are two types of testing in Android: integration test and unit test. So when you do unit test, it means you're just testing the logic, the stuff that don't related to Android in unit test. Okay. So and integration test, it means when you run the test, that your application will be run automatically, and there may be some, and they will be, and the test will they will interact with the apps. They will touch button. They will try to log in themselves, like a ghost. It's like they're a ghost, and they try to use the application and check that everything is correct or not. But the integration test is very slow and be hard to implement. Okay, it's hard to implement and it's slow. Okay, so why we need to write tests actually? Who knows? Why we need to write tests? What is it for? Who knows?
For degrees integration test.
What?
For degrees integration test. You know that? Using unit test for degrees integration test.
What do you mean by degrees?
Degrees mean, as you said, that integration test is slow.
Slow. It's quite slow.
If this function or this feature is run well with unit test, we have less than code in integration test. So
maybe. I'm not sure about it, but maybe. Okay, I note it down. So, what we need to write test. For example, your team have 2 members. Okay, implement of apps, right? And later your team has 10 members. Okay, so some member will go to your code and try to add more function, and they break your features. Okay, they break your code. For example, you implement login function, so you have tested and yeah, it's run well. But later some other guys come into your code base and try to add more features, and they accidentally break your code, right? Right? You have experience from that, right? Yes, and it's a lot of pain. So imagine you go to your company and try to debug all days. So that's why the companies in Vietnam don't pay us well, because productivity is not good enough. We sit on the tables and try to fit a box a whole day. Okay? So we don't create any features, more function, more stuff. So it's not good, right? So why we need to write tests? We write tests because we don't want some guys come to our code base and break our function, right? We write tests to protect our code, right? And then we try to run the test each time you push the code into GitHub. Okay, so you push the code into GitHub, we can, set up to run the test. And if the test fail by some guys, they can send me an emails, okay, with their phone numbers, and I can call them and yell at them, or what are you doing to my feature or my function, okay? So later, when you add more complexity to your code base without any line of test, and there are high chance that the code will be break at any times. Okay, you may say that, yeah, my company have quality assurance, we have a lot of testers who sit here and test, but they are not God. They cannot test everything. You have 300 features, 100 features, they could not test all of them. They could not make sure to you that only still run correctly, right? Right? Maybe you have 30 testers. It's possible, but it's a lot of painful, and the company have to pay a lot of money for them. Okay? So we write tests to protect our code. Okay? But why we just run integration tests? Integration test is more reliable. It's actually learn your app and interact with your app and make sure that I can log in or not, I can order or not, I can add a product to cart or not, or I can receive the email or not. But integration test is slow. It's very slow. Okay, so every time you add a new function, okay, you want to run the whole test suite again to make sure that everything is still correct, and you run integration test and you sit there and wait. Maybe go to the toilet, maybe go have lunch and dinner, and they will finish later. And then you find out that you have break some code, and you try to fix that, and you run integration test again, and you go to the toilet to wait the integration to finish. It's painful. That's why we need unit test. The unit test will test, the logic, only logic. And integration test will test the UI, is it reliable or not, or something. And then style, view style, color, we cannot set that. Our quality control and tester will come into action, okay? So make unit test become super easy. View model help make unit test become super easy because it's only Java. There will be no Android in view models, okay? So we can implement the application without a view, okay? So with view model, you can implement our function without a view. So you don't need to write HTML first, or activity, or fragment, or something. You can write view model first. Imagine like your designer is not ready, and you can sit here in your company all day, so they're wasting the money, right? You can implement the view model without the help of the view. And after that, when the design is ready, you can then implement the fragment and activity and view related stuff, and you just plug it in the view model, it just works like a charm, okay? When implement view model, you can write unit tests for them, and it makes TDD super easy too. So who knows TDD? Who have heard about TDD? So I done a lot of stuff today. I just do introduction. So at home, you want more is advanced stuff. Okay, so you learn all of that. You master up this. You can earn $1,000 or $2,000. You can deal with that. You can say that I have skill about unit test integration test. I have skill about TDD, so I can ask for $2,000. It's possible. Okay. So TDD in test-driven development. It means you write the test before you write the code. Okay, so I'm gonna explain it later. So this advantage. It needs time to adapt. So MVVM is not easy to learn at the beginning. You have to master RJava, you have to master the data binding Android, and then you will have enough confidence to do view model. And you need a binding mechanism. So here we need data binding and the help of RS Java. So for RS guys, they don't have data binding, so they can implement everything with RS script. Okay, and debugging may become harder because you update the views, the view model, and view will be updated automatically. So maybe you have bugs in your binding logic, right? So it's a little bit hard to debug. For example, you cannot put a breakpoint on your XML layout. So my recommendation is not putting any logic in your HTML layout. Put it in view model, okay? And your HTML file just call the method from view model. That's all. No logic, no stuff, complex logic there, okay? So that is the question.
If I begin with coding, so I jump directly to
MVB or MVVM?
soup
MVB or MVVM?
so I jump directly to MVM. So I do not need to adapt from the
So it's a hard question. So I started at MVC, like every Android developers, and I find out that the view controller and activity and fragment become so hard to maintain. 1,000 live code, 2,000 live code is not good. Okay, so then I find another pattern, and in that case, at that time they introduced RS Java, reactive extension, and I try to use that with MVVM, and it's worked like a charm. So to extract the logic. So maybe at first you don't have to do MVVM. Only when you see that the activity and fragment becomes too complex. Okay, maybe Tom. Okay, he has a good case here. So he has our activity, have a search view on the top. He has 3 fragments, right? It's 3 fragments, and in one of the fragments, they have a list of data. Okay, so he want to click on data, and they will add the title back to your search view. Okay, and then you do the search and give a result to another fragment, right? Okay, you can imagine that. He has an activity. On the toolbar, they have a search bar, okay? And they have 2 fragments or 3 fragments, something like that. One fragment, they have, suggest key to maybe a star or something. You click on that, you bring the title back to the search view of the activity, and then he tries to go to the API and search data and give it back to another fragment. Okay? It's hard, right? You have an activity and 2 fragments, and you have to communicate between activity and fragment. So yes, you can do event bus, right? But too much event bus is hard to debug. It's hard to debug because you define an event from fragment to activity and activity to fragment and fragment to activity, and you see that it's harder to debug. And some guys may come, break your code easily. Yeah. So how is work in MVVM? So we will have a view model for the activity. Okay. And in the view model, we have a string named keyword. At first, it's empty. Okay. And when I click on items from my recycle view of one fragment, I just update that keyword. Done. The search view will have a keyword ready. Okay. And then I do it before. I do an observe. I observe in the view model. I observe for the chain of the keyword. So when the keyword change in about 300 milliseconds and with distinct until chain of RS Java, I gotta do a search to the API, a flat map of RS Java, right? And then I get the return back, and I update a list of data in the view model. Okay, and the fragment that I have, the order fragment will be updated automatically. Is it cool? It's very cool. Okay, you just work with data. We don't work with the view. The view will help you. You can feel that. You just work with the view model and that. Anything is binding. Anything is binding for you. Okay. So what would you?
And iJava at this, well, I mean that how much you could say how much effort you spend on the MVD and then try to adapt your mind again to the MVVM. So now you have a chance, if you don't know any coding, should you go to begin it with the MVVM iJava instead of?
Yes, you can do that. I think the answer is yes. You can jump right to MVVM. Okay, I have a dream. when I do Android, I see that when we start coding in Android, it's hard. It's quite hard. Okay, and you go come more and more complex logic into your application, and you feel like, no, I don't want Android. Maybe I want to do to front-end developers, GS developers. It's easier. So difference between Android and front-end or JavaScript developers. JavaScript developer have a long range. Okay, some guys just do CSS and HTML. I can still earn money, and, yes, and have a good, a living standard. And then maybe they become a more professional JavaScript developer. Maybe become with AngularJS or React.js, right? And maybe harder, they go to the back end with Node.js, Express.js, or kind of stuff like that. So they have a long range and high priority, right? From very low dev and to higher. The back end, front end. But Android is different. Android is hard. Java is hard. Really, I think so. Java is hard. You need to do a lot of code to make a function work in Java, to be honest. Okay? So you do React Native, you see that you just a few lines of code and you have a screen ready on a mobile. I do the Java. So I have a dream that you can simplify that. You can work with MVVM. Easier to implement, easier to test, easier to maintain. Okay? So while testing, test have refactoring easier. So you see that a function is too big, right? You want to extract some logic out and call a new function, and accidentally you break the code. You don't know. You will not know that when you refactor your code, you extract a class, you extract a function, you change a function name, you change the location of the file, and you break your code. You don't know. You don't know for sure. Okay? So you need test. You need unit test. So every time you refactor your code, you extract class, extract function, and relocation your files, you run the test again to make sure that the function is still working. And you will confident with the function and with the code and make a deliver. Okay? So test in real time, maintain your application. So for example, you extract a class, you deploy it, and a QC come and go and test that, and they say that no, there is a bug. They throw back to you, and you deploy again. So deploy is hard, especially Java developer. Deploy is hard. So for example, you deploy a big Java backend, it may take hours, maybe a day. Okay, so you have an Android application very small, right? You try to run on your machine. You have 4 RAM, right? And it takes 30 seconds to 1 minute. It's not good. It's not good for productivity, right? We need something more. We need unit test. So you test, you refactor, you make everything still working, and you deliver it. Sorry. Okay. So test have recurrent design, and TDD make test reliable. So why we have to do TDD? Because maybe you will write some unit tests that bring you no value at all. You may go to the situation that you write a unit test and it brings no value. It means you write the code first, you implement it first, and you write unit test later. And accidentally, that the unit test bring no values. For example, you write unit test, you think it's passed, and you try to delete your code, and it's still passed. It's not good. That's why we need TDD. It means we need to see that a test failed first. When you see a test fail, it means your test is protecting some code. And then you implement the code, you make the test pass, it means that test can be failed. It's failable, right? It's failable, so it means that if some guys come and break the code, it will fail again. So that's why we need to write the test first. TDD. It makes your test reliable. So when you write the test after you implement the code, and you will see that some case your test bring no value. I will show you in today. Okay? And TDD. So you write a test, you make sure it failed, and then you implement the code to make it pass. So it means that test bring value. It can be failed. If failable, it may bring value. And then you try to refactor, you extract class, you extract object, you extract a function. Maybe you say that you decide that this class is too big, you want to extract, and then you refactor, and you make sure the test to bad again, it means the function is good. And you deliver, okay? Okay, so for unit test, we need dependency injection. So who know dependency injection? Really? No dependency injection. So it's popular for .NET guys and Java. Okay. So dependency injection for, you can imagine that. So you have a constructor, right? You have a class. You have a class. It's maybe an activity, right? No. You have a class like maybe let me see, a user class, right? And in the constructor, you have to pass in an account object, okay? An email object, and many object, okay? So when you construct a user object, so you have to construct an account, right? You have to construct an email. Maybe you have to construct an API to do something, I don't know. So for example, your constructor have 4, 5, 6 parameters, 5, 6 objects. So you construct the user, you have to construct each of the object. Okay, and then in another place, you try to construct a user again, and then you have to construct 5 to 6 objects again, and again. And later you see that no, that is not good. You want to change. You want to just put one object into the user constructor, but it's too late. You have to use the constructor of user everywhere, and each place you construct 5, 6 objects, and you want to refactor. Oh my God, I don't know how to do that. Right? Can you imagine? Can you imagine? You construct a user object, and you have to pass in the constructor 5 to 6 objects. So to construct a user object, you have to construct 5 to 6 objects. And anytime you construct a user, you have 5 to 6 objects, 5 to 6 objects, 5 to 6 objects. And later you want to refactor. You just want one object put into the user, and you can't do that. You have to use the own way everywhere, right? So dependency injection. It means it encapsulates the new operator. So every time you need a new object, you just new user, new account, new blah blah blah, new fragment, blah blah blah. So dependency injection is means you don't have to do a new operator. Okay? So you have a tree, something like that. Okay? So in that tree, you will say that if I need user, please construct like this. And then user depend on account, right? And so we need an account before we construct user. So then we have a method. We said that if we need an account, we construct like this. Like this. We need an email object, we construct like this. We need a retrofit, we construct like this. And when you need a user, then we search in the tree and find the way to construct the account. Okay? The way you construct the emails, the way you construct retrofit, and then they call a new user for you and bring to you. So you just need to declare a user and ask that, please provide a user. That's all. Okay? The framework and dependency injection will find the object in the tree and the way you can fit to provide that. So you just provide the account in the trees, and later you don't want account, or you want to change the implementation of account, and you just change one place, only one place. Okay? You change the place you provide, and done. Okay? That's it. Is it hard to understand? It's quite hard to understand. So I'm gonna do instruction, I'm gonna do live coding, and at home you don't understand, you just do it again. Okay? See the way we provide dependency for our class. So I take times to understand this in Android. So you encapsulate the way you provide dependency. So you don't have to do new user and then new account, new blah blah blah. You have one way to provide an account, maybe many ways, and you just configure that. And you just need, I need user, and then we go to the tree dependency injection and find the provide way for you. And they code a new user, new account for you for free, and you don't have to do new anything. Okay? My application easier to change and reuse. Okay. Sorry. Okay, for here, for example, I want to create a new home controller, right? And then I have to create a logger, right? To pass in the constructor home controller. So to construct this guy, I have to this guy. I have to construct this guy. Okay? And then I have to construct this guy, this guy. Okay. So to construct this guy, I have to construct this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. Okay. For one whole controller, I have to go on the new operator. It's very painful. Do you, anytime you need to call a new activity in your Android application? Anytime you need to call new activity something? No, right? You just said that please provide me activity to the intent, right? And then the application will call the new activity for you, right? We never see the new activity. Why? Maybe the activity have a lot of stuff to finish, like this. So they prevent you to call new activity. They will call it for you. Okay, so see that you construct from controller, you can construct all of this guy. You have to create this stuff, you create this, you have to create this guy, for this, and for this, for this, for this. It's very painful. So you create one controller once, it's okay. If you try 3, 4, 5 times, and your application will explode. It's a lot of stuff. Can you get that? Can you get that? Easy to understand, right? So dependency injection is mean I define a way to create this guy. In the Java class, just a normal Java class, I define a way to build this guy. Okay? And then when I define a way to construct this guy based on this guy. Just one place. And when I ask for my application, please provide me database. And what do you do? It goes to find the method that I have defined before, and then they find a method that define new auditor, and then it will call new database, lastly new auditor. Okay? Put it for me. So I just ask that please give me a database. That's all. And then dependency injection will come and see that database needs new auditor in the constructor. Okay? And it go up the tree and find the way to construct a new auditor. Right? They create a new auditor, they go back to the database and they create a database for me. Okay? And then locker, I want a locker. Again, and we find a database. When they find a database, they see that database needs new auditor. They find new auditor, they create a database, they find some locker and return locker for me. Without calling any new constructor. Okay? So, and then I call home controller. We construct this guy, this guy, this guy. This guy, 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 this guy. I construct all. So I don't have to do anything. Just click home controller, give me stuff. That's it. Okay? Any question? Okay, it's hard. So I just do introduction and we find out how. So I go to the demo, okay? We have more than 1 hour.